morning, everyone. My name is Prince Boubacar Sankano, Deputy Government Spokesperson, Office of the President, chairing today's introductory press briefing with our new Minister of Information, Dr. Ismaila Ceesay. Before proceeding, I would like us to pray in our customary traditional way. 5 minutes, pray silently. Thank you very much for coming to welcome our new Information Minister. That is a proactive, regular engagement with the media as we are partners in development. For way of protocol introduction, on my right we have the Honorable Minister of Information, Dr. Ismaila Ceesay, and then protocol was cabinet colleagues, Madam Rohijon Manja, Minister of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, Honorable Babukar Ismaila Diouf, Minister of Trade, Regional Integration, Industry and Employment. Kindly correct me in case I get the nomenclature wrong. Sorry. And then we proceed. We have Honorable Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information, Mr. Yankuba Saidi, and we have Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information, sir. Fali Kinte. This is our second time of meeting our full service, a veteran in the field. We all passed through her tutelage, and thank you. Complete her name out of respect, Madam Asha. Thank you very much. Madam Asha Davis Ann. I was continuing her name, the full name. Thank you. And that's Mabinza, our information officer at Media and Communication Unit at Office of the President. Thank you very much. We also have our Principal Information Officer at the Director of Information Service, DPS. Sorry for skipping that, but anyway, DPS, also a veteran in the field. Thank you very much. And my brother, I think that's the technical arm of the Ministry of Trade. We are here to assist us in answering technical. Kutubo Jabi, yes, Senior economist. Thank you very much. You've left us to crank all the numbers. Thank you very much. And then, ladies and gentlemen, like I say, I'm Sankano for short. Taking you through, and we have our information officer, Zainab Jobate, the ministry here. Thank you very much. We'll start by inviting the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Saidi, to give us an introductory remark. Mr. Saidi, thank you very much.
I said assalamu alaikum and good morning. I want to take this opportunity to welcome in the Honorable Minister of Information, Dr. Ismaila Ceesay, Honorable Minister of Environment, Rohijon Manjang, Honorable Minister of Trade and Employment, Babukar Ismaila Diouf, Deputy Permanent Secretaries, Director of Department of Information, and Mr. Chair, the Deputy Government Spokesperson, welcome to the Ministry of Information, senior government officials, members of the press. This ministry, for more than 1 year, we've been working on a particular strategic pillar that is proactive access to information, public consultation, as well as popularization of the government agenda. But access to information is a two-way street. But we want to make sure that the ministry is actually repositioned, because if you remember very well, it used to be called Ministry of Information and Communications Infrastructure. And up to May 2022, it used to be that way. So on 4th May 2022, there was presidential proclamation that effectively decoupled the then Ministry of Information and Communication Infrastructure into what it is today, the Ministry of Information as a standalone ministry responsible for information and the media value chain. When we came in, we were resource constrained and we had to work on several issues. And to address some of these issues, our fundamental role is to chart a new way forward, a new way that will define how government can effectively communicate with the people. If you understand, the government exists primarily to serve the interests of the constituents. And how does it do this thing? Number one fundamental thing is to actively propagate their involvement and participation in decision-making processes. And this cannot also be achieved if information is not freely flowing out to those constituents. So we felt it necessary there is a vacuum. And this vacuum, if we don't take a decisive stand, we will not be able to address the issues. Because social media is active. And we don't want to go into the old days of coming up with new laws that are draconian, because they are now counterproductive. But what you can do is, as a government that champions itself on democratization fundamentals, is to go back to the same people, give them information, give them full access to information that is of public interest, and do so in a proactive manner. So how do we achieve it as a ministry? Because we want to be the gateway of access to information. We are the ones implementing that particular access to information law. And there are other instruments also that are coming. Together, they're going to reinforce our democratic capacity to be able to render critical services and also hold government accountable and also create a stability, a degree of stability in our social setting. How do you achieve it? Well, this is a maiden meeting. The intention is not to keep you here for long or to open it to too many questions and answer session, but we are saying, as a ministry, we are putting our acts together, inviting you to signal to you and the Gambian people that we are ready to be very open and transparent, build on the democratic credentials of the country, and also support the flow of information and access to flow of information, which is information about government activities, projects, and program implementations. Everything got to be in the public domain because it's important that we inform the public. And the Ministry of Information now is going to be the gateway for that. Today's event, as I stated, is just intended to give you an opportunity to interface with us and also provide you the opportunity to witness the launching of our social media handles, as well as our website, as part of our overall signaling effort that there is going to be a shift in paradigm, how government relates to the people, or the constituents, or the electorates, or to the Gambian people. So, Honorable Minister, as we discussed, the intention of today's event is just to make sure that we confine ourselves to this, and periodic press conference, be it 2 weeks or every month, is going to be held by this ministry, and all relevant issues that are in what you call the undercurrents will be discussed in those platforms. So obviously, this is it. As a ministry, we've been working on a lot of protocols, but now we have a new determined leader who wants to do things differently. And then he got our support, and we also want you also to collaborate with us because we are the bona fide government agency responsible for the development of the industry that you find yourself in, called the media industry or the information value chain. With those few remarks, I want to take this opportunity to again invite the chairperson to take over the podium from me, and hopefully in the coming days and weeks to come, we'll be able to actively engage each other on national interest issues or matters of national interest, and hopefully that climate that we used to exist before will never exist again, because openness and transparency is now going to take over the fears and apprehension that most people have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, PSAD, for that beautiful rendition, emphasizing government's commitment to freedom of and access to information. And like I said, we are aware of the new democratic dispensation that by the fact that the government created a special ministry dedicated to the media industries, so how far the government is ready to take the media as the fourth estate, ensuring that you have the space to perform your constitutional mandate as the fourth estate watchdog, and also both for government and also for the public. So like I said, today's intro, we are going to be flexible. We are not going to follow the protocol that much. We are going to be as flexible as I said. The main is introductory, launching the social media handles of the information ministry. Going forward, government is going digital. We are transformation, it's part of the transformation agenda, so that the citizen can have digital benefit, have what they call the digital dividend. Having a separate minister of digital economy, which is working, providing the technical backbone, and here we are here providing the software. So today we are witnessing something that's going to go forward. All ministerial websites and social medias are going to be revamped and reactivated, whereby citizens, wherever they are, they can have crucial government services that are going, all these services that are taking place are going to be merged. You see, we are going around the sensors, all these things are embracing technology is part of that process. We are in the 21st century and government is not going to stay behind. We'll make sure that every Gambian is carried along in this digital transformation. Honorable Minister, I'd like to invite you to make remarks before walking of the website.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Honorable Minister of Environment, Climate Change, Honorable Rahim Manjang, and also my Honorable colleague, Minister of Trade, Employment and Regional Integration, Honorable Babakar Ismaila Ceesay, PS, Information, Yankuba Sedi, DPS, Minte, the Director of Department of Information Services, Madam Isa Davis, DPS, Job, Chair Sankanu, thank you very much for chairing this very important press conference representing the Office of the Spokesperson. Members of the press, I hope I've acknowledged the presence of everyone on the high table, and also our technical support from the Ministry of Trade as well. Excuse me if I forget your name. And also I think the lady with Madam Isa Davis from Doyes as well. Welcome and thank you. And members of the press, thank you. I think we've gone a long way. I was reading a report recently which says that Gambia has done significantly well insofar as press freedom is concerned. It's called the Press Freedom Index. Before 2016, we used to hover around 170, 180 out of 190 countries. Now, could you believe that we are number 47 in the world and number 5 in Africa? It means we have achieved a lot. And recently, the Gambia government also, and through the National Assembly, they passed a new bill that became an act assented to by the President, an act which is called the Access to Information Act. It means that every Gambian or any Gambian can now write to any public official or public office and demand access to any information insofar as it is for the public's interest. And that information is not classified as confidential or secret or highly secret. That is where we are coming in as a Ministry of Information. And like the PS has rightly said, we're the gateway of government information in this country. There has been significant democratic gain since 2016. The role of this ministry is to help consolidate that gain. That is why today we are calling on this press conference to inform you that now we'll be having periodic press conferences, at least every 2 weeks, to inform the media and the general public through the media as to what is happening in government, what are government's priorities, what projects are going on, what projects have been completed, what are the activities, and so on and so forth. And we want to have a proactive approach to information dissemination. Not only proactive, but also a two-way approach. We are not only getting information from government to the people, but also through a series of consultative meetings and outreach and town halls, we'll be getting information from the public to the government as well. And this is where the media comes in. We see you as critical partners in this endeavor. We cannot work without the media, and the media cannot work without the Ministry of Information and the Gambia government in general. That is why we are calling you today to emphasize to you the important role you are going to play in this endeavor, that you are partners. That is why since I assumed office, what I've been doing is to engage the media through the proprietors. I've made the TV service providers, they are proprietors. Yesterday I made the newspaper publishers. I made the social media owners this afternoon. I made the radio stations, both commercial and the community radios as well, maybe by next week, just to emphasize the important role you are going to play and how we see you as critical partners. So going forward, we'll be engaging you constantly on a sustained basis to ensure that information is passed on to the general public. So the ministry is ready. Our doors are open like the PS has said, we are the gateway. I know sometimes it can be a challenge getting information, sometimes, in some ministries, but see us as a partner where now every information you need, just channel it through the Ministry of Information, and we'll do as best as possible to engage the technical ministries to get you that information to the best of our ability. So I welcome you to this press conference. Today, it's not going to be a very long press conference. It's just to set the tone and set the parameters for the engagement we'll be having in the future with the press, but also to launch our website and our social media handles. We've got a website, and let me take this opportunity to thank the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy for helping us build this website. They've been working very hard to get this done, and also all the staff who are working on this website. We are also going to launch our TikTok, Facebook, and also our Twitter, or formerly X account, formerly Twitter as well, and also our YouTube channel as well. So any information you need, you can access them there. We will endeavor to ensure that every information will be uploaded there. If you cannot access them there, if for some reason you have important questions, important information you need, that is not on our website, on our social media handles, you can always engage the ministry, and we'll try to provide it to you as best as possible and as quickly as possible. So, Mr. Chair, that is an introductory remark from me. See members of the press here today. They are my friends. They are government's friends. Together, we want to reset the button of relationship between us and the media. We don't want to have any barriers with the media. We want to work with them closely for the public's interest. We want to ensure that there is no vacuum anymore insofar as information is concerned. Because when there's a vacuum, this can precipitate and this information is disseminated, and that is not good for anyone. In 1994, Rwanda went into a state of genocide and disinformation. A single radio and a single radio broadcaster sent information that was so false that the whole country descended into genocide. Gambia is a peaceful country. Gambia is a stable country. In fact, Gambia has been lauded as one of the most stable countries in the sub. Thanks to a government that has now opened up the political space, a government that has now given the media the space to operate without interference, a government that ensures that the lives and livelihoods are protected through security measures. But also, I thank the media also for being professional and for being ethical since 2016 as well. But we want to ensure we also add to that. We want to ensure the media is competent as well. Journalists are competent. Journalists are safe in this country. That is why if you follow the news last week, I visited Majak, the academy that trained journalists, and also the School of Journalism at UTG. Why? Because I'm concerned that we need to train journalists to become competent and professional and ethical. Journalists are very important in a country. They are as important as the doctors who cure our sick and as teachers who teach and educate our children. If teachers are wrongly educated, then there's a problem. A whole generation is wrongly educated. If doctors are poorly educated, then they kill people. If journalists are poorly educated and are not competent and professional, they misinform and disinform and distort information, which can cause disaster. Therefore, it is important that we ensure that journalists are well trained, they are professional, and they operate within the parameters of the law. This is very important for the government. But just to assure you, we are resetting the button of relationship between the government and the media through the Ministry of Partners now in development. We rely on you and you rely on us. Let us maintain the peace of this country and for the interest of the stability of this country. We have a country to build. And I've always argued that it takes a generation to build a country for the next generation. If we want the next generation to come and find a happy, peaceful, developed country, we have to work now and make the sacrifices. If we don't do that, we are passing the burden onto them to do it. That is why today we have challenges. The challenges are trying to build a country for today, solving our most basic needs, but also planning a country for the next generation as well. That's a double challenge. So we cannot do it alone as a government. We need everybody on board. The media, the citizens, everybody who is a Gambian or non-Gambian, as long as you live within the jurisdiction of this country. So members of the media fraternity, I'm happy to announce to you that a new page has been turned in the relationship between government and the media. And I rely on you to make this journey smooth and enjoyable and productive for everyone involved. My doors are always open, and that is my policy. If you have any question, just call. As best as possible to make sure that we proactively feed you with information. Events as well that we'll be doing, a series of activities. We are currently working on our effective communication strategy, which we'll be implementing. And for that to be successful, we need the media. You have information, so you are critical partners in our endeavor. I thank you all for your kind attention, smoothing the relationship between us and the public. That's what they call new media now. So it's an agency under this ministry. They are important. They were the first TV. They had a monopoly before. But since Twitter, we go on Twitter to engage them there. That is why.
Thank you very much, Honorable. As you highlighted, government has already been working with the media and civil society. A classical example is the access to information law. The entire process happened through consultation between the state and also the media. So this will continue, and then it is your product that we work together. We have to implement it. The next line of agenda is launching the social media handles. I think all of you have your mobile phones. We have to do reality test and project it, and then you can look at it, and then go into your mobile phone so you can test it, so they can have real life. You know.
We can project it over there.
Over there, yeah. So your mobile phones, you can be visiting the domain names, the handles, so that we can have live reality check. So it's like performing live surgery. And all of you are part of it.
Do you have an extension here? Mandy, can you help us?
Wait a minute. Meanwhile, can I have it? You can go to www.moin.gov.gm. You can test the website, go through it. So media, you are live. Okay, then. If you are live, you go to www. That is World Wide Web. moin.gov for government, .gm for Gambia. You can be going through the website, check functionality. And anytime there's suggestions, feel free to drop in. The team at the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy will always be there to assist. So go through it and test it. So we are testing the functionality of the handle. Again, I repeat, www.moin, Minister of Information, .gov.gm. Okay. Successful? What can you read from the website? You need comment feedback.
Can you access it?
Can you access?
Okay.
You're in? Oh, good. What? It's loading a network. It's like that. Facebook. Connect to the Wi-Fi in case you know your data. You know maybe the Wi-Fi though. It's not working. The traffic is high, so sorry. Then maybe you can switch back to your data in case the traffic is high. Because if 1,000 people want to enter through a small door at the same time, that's what happens. You have to trample on each other. So you can go back to your data. It's going to be faster. Yeah, yeah. So maybe they can try with the data and see. Data connection. Yeah, your mobile hotspot. Then for the social media handle, the principal one is Facebook. You can try the Facebook one, Minister of Information, the Gambia. You can search it on your Facebook portal and then you'll find it. Then go through it and see. So it should look like this in case you are on the Facebook for the Minister of Information. That's the Gambian flag, seal, Minister of Information, hyphen the Gambia. Huh? The website. Try again with website. Network is slow, that's why. Yeah, Facebook, yeah.
Okay, hold on. Can I get that?
Thank you. This other one too? No, it doesn't go. Ah, it doesn't go. Oh, that's why.
This slide doesn't go? No. It doesn't? Maybe we should project it there. Can we put this thing down? Is it possible?
It's a bit noisy. Oh, what about this? Oh, this side.
But it's better.
Sure. Can you come further than that? Can we get the cable to come further? Is it possible?
It's better. It's better there. Just for demonstration.
Yeah, no, since they have it on their mobile phone or their laptop, the devices, they can follow the...
Yes, okay, I think it's fine, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So,
We can see this.
so now the Honorable Minister will take us through the various features of the website. Like I said, it's work in progress. We improve continuously. We learn continuously. Anything that needs to be improved will be done accordingly.
So for the social media side, these are Facebook. Internet is slow, huh? Okay, here. So if you haven't started following us or liking us, start doing that now. So you can be getting critical updates. As you can see, we are getting live Facebook now on our social media site, on our Facebook. And then we have our X handle also working. There also you can get important updates. Ministry of Information here. See? So start following us as well. And that is our physical address, JRTS building, MDI Road, in case you want to. Oh, okay. Oh, down live.
Okay, then I don't.
Currently, we have 1,263 followers. Our target is 2 million followers within 1 year. The population is not, is it? Okay, so in case we're uploading, like yesterday's news was uploaded there about the president's double visit by the president to go and get first-hand, and the physical address is also there. We have also a special section for the office of the vice president as well, OVP. Through our website, you can be linked to the office of the vice president. Also, the other features are briefing room. Our line agencies, JRTS is one, Department of Information Services as well. You can also access them through our website. The Gambia News Agency, and also GPPC, Gambia Print as well. We have a press center where you can get access to news and events. All our press briefings will be uploaded. All our press releases will be uploaded. Also, key decisions from cabinet will also be uploaded there. We call it the cabinet session. Our newsletter will also be there, and also other downloads as well. This could be legal frameworks, this could be anything. Then policies and strategies, STRATCOM. STRATCOM is the Strategic Communications Task Force, which we are setting up. Will comprise of competent officials from DOIS, from the ministry, from JRTS, and from GPPC to be the strategic head of communication of this ministry. Where we are setting up the team at the moment and also designing their communication strategy. Then about us, the ministry, the leadership, we are working on that, so you can get information there as well. And then this is the home. So basically now we've created the instruments that can aid in the relationship. You can access us through these instruments. If it's not enough for you, if what you are looking for, you can't find it, like I said, write to the PS, write to me. We'll ensure that we give you the information to the best of our ability. We want to ensure that information we give you is accurate, authentic, and it's for the public's interest. That is important because we have a credibility as a ministry to preserve. So we'll always endeavor to give you accurate information where we can. Also considering also human weakness. Nobody's perfect. Sometimes we can make mistakes. Where we make mistakes, where we err, we'll come around and say, hey, we've erred here, and we'll apologize, and we move. Mr. Chair, I think that's it for this part of the event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable, for that introduction, going through the social media and also the digital stuff. Like I said, the government is embarking on this ambitious, digital e-governance strategy, where most of our government services, will be accessible online. So this is the beginning. Once we stabilize government presence, all other services that you need, birth certificate, it's happening all over the world. Now, whenever you want to apply for visa in most countries, you go through e-visas. And we are working towards that. And this is just the stepping stone, and then we'll develop. Like I said, website is continuous development. We'll have links to other government entities that will be coming along the line. So feel free to contact us, and if you have any ideas, suggestions, because it's dynamic. We have to feed it continuously. Honorable Minister talked education, professionalism. Our field is very dynamic, changing. I consider myself media savvy, but my 3-year-old daughter still show me some features on how to use mobile phone. So that's why, so do you neglect yourself, you're already off track. And it's very important to continuously update yourself and upgrade yourself. We've come now to the next level where we can take a few questions. Like I said, I cannot have an answer right now, we'll answer later. So feel free.
And I want to use this opportunity to thank two key main people in this. That's the Minister for Information, who has alerted me to this information at the initial stage. And His Excellency the President for giving the leadership support to instruct and direct that we do as much as possible the right thing and also conduct ourselves within the limits of the law. Yes, the first day it was published by Watson Gambia, that was the day I got to know the information through the Minister for Information. As you have been rightly informed, they are the gateway for information for the rest of the governance system. When the information was received, my team and myself and the rest of the stakeholders decided to pay a visit on site to receive first-hand information. That was just to say the proactiveness of government to engage and address situations as they may come and as necessary. Now, as mentioned in the question, is to know what's the government's position in terms of our investigation. We've written to the Minister, to those that we think can give us information, to submit a formal report around detail as per what has happened so far. We've been mentioned that this thing happened, started since 2020, 2021, up to today. So you will bear with me that there is a lot that has happened on the background, and we need to acquaint ourselves with this before we take any rightful decisions going forward. But be rest assured, as far as the government is concerned, I made it very clear. I'm working with the Minister of Defense, Interior, Information, Lands, to make sure that we crack down whatsoever has happened through this that has not followed the due process of the law. As a summary, for now, what we have established is that the forest is a gazetted community forest, and it has gone through all the process required by law. So meaning it took about 3 to some years to complete the entire process. So all the stakeholders required were involved, and then also adequately, and we have passed the test as far as the legal instrument. Said that was done in 2020. So we have informed Plymouth, not on writing, but as far as the engagements are concerned, that the selling of these forests started in 2021. Unfortunately, and to our surprise and disappointingly, the ministry, as far as I am concerned, have not been informed, or we have not received any written complaint, not from the community, not from the forest department or any other stakeholders. The community, we have received an informal communication or information that they have written to the Department of Forestry, giving their complaint and seeking for support or their engagement. But these are all things that will come up in the investigation to guide our next forward action. As far as the ministry is concerned, as far as the government of the Gambia is concerned, For this case, this forest mentioned is a gazetted forest, and it has not been degazetted. So whatever has been acquired or done aside activities related to the forest, community forest management, is null and void and is illegal. That is what is the stand of the ministry. And then our next line of action will be dictated as to who was involved, what process have been taken, and why. Then we will now respond to what we're going to do. And be rest assured that we are not going to take it lightly. We want to set the example for all of us. Whoever is found wanting, we will make sure that the law takes its due course. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Morning, everyone. I am Ismaila Ceesay, KTV. This is for the Minister of Information. I think this is quite commendable, especially the website and having very active social media handles. However, there are still many, or I couldn't say most, government agencies and ministries who do not have functioning websites or websites that are hardly updated. And sometimes when you even write to them, the emails, they're not functioning, or you have to get a reply. And I think this is very important. I don't know what the government is doing to address this.
Thank you very much, SO. That's a very good question. Currently, as we speak, the of communication and digital economy is building the websites for all the ministries. And they are at a very advanced stage now. Very soon, all the ministries' websites will be up and running and will be maintained by the ministry. We are also planning at some point in the medium term this is one of my thinking, a government web portal, a central government web portal that can also have all these ministries linked to it as well. With regards to communication of the ministries, we are working as a ministry on a government communications policy that will take to cabinet at some point to become a policy for communication across the entire government in terms of how to do in terms of output of documents, how the documents should look like. Any communique, press release coming from government, we should know it's coming from the Gambia government, with a seal and a stamp which is unique to the Gambia government. We are working there. I think there was a policy passed in cabinet which ensures that everyone uses official emails. That's so that everybody is using the official email for official communication. So we are working on that. Once the communications policy is implemented, that makes our work easy to ensure that there's a streamlining of information flowing within government, but to the Ministry of Information, so that every ministry now has a framework that they can work with to know this is how requests are handled, this is how they are responded to, this is the manner in which they should also be responded to. So we are working on that, and hopefully within the next couple of months we should try to solve that problem. And the websites also, like I said, advanced stages by the Ministry of Digital Communication. They are working on all the websites. Also within a couple of months, I think all government ministries should have a functioning website. We're also, as part of the policy is to ensure that all ministries are functioning social media handles, which are also verified to ensure that they are authentic, so that they cannot be cloned by people sending false information. We're also working on that to make sure that all ministries have verified social media handles that are fully functional. Luckily, we have information officers. They are now going to be called communications officers in all the ministries attached there. And they'll be helping ensure that these websites and these social media handles are always having content to ensure there's a flow of information to the public. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to add up what the Honorable Minister said, yeah, we've been working on this. Like I said, that's the reason why the President took the decision to decouple the two ministries, to ensure that we work on the background. We already have information officers, so we have to work on a lot of infrastructure. The website is just the last. There's a lot of infrastructure behind it that needs to be stabilized. You remember the ACE cable used to go down, so we have to work on the downtown. So, and then that one is being addressed right now. And once that is done, all government websites will be there. We're going to have also a nodal website through the Office of the Government Spokesperson, whereby, you know, that's going to be the nodal site. It can link you to all. The work is in progress. We have information officers, the legal parameters is there, the separate ministry is there. So it's ongoing, and then be rest assured that the network will be stable as we move forward.
Good morning. My name is Ismaila Ceesay from KEFA. I have two questions, one for Dr. Ceesay and one for Honorable Diouf. Dr. Ceesay, you made mention of the ATI law that is already being assented to by the President. I understand that there are consultations going on. As a new minister, you have plans to ensure that you work with the Gambia Press Union, you know, to make the implementation of this, you know, ATI law a success for the Gambian media. And then my question to Honorable Duke is the high cost of living, commodities are skyrocketing. What are some of the steps your ministry is taking in ensuring that, you know, these commodities, you know, at least, you know, living condition, you know, be a thing that would at least Gambians would, you know, stop crying all over about these issues, because a bag of sugar is around 2,500 now or so, yeah, and then bag of rice is, some of them are 2,000 plus. So what is your ministry doing in order to ensure that living condition is at least easy for Gambians?
Thank you very much. I think with regards to the access to information, GPU, Media Council, the Coalition for Access to Information have been actively working with the PS and the ministry to not only design the instrument, but also to pass it as well. In fact, between GPU, Media Council, Tango, the appointed commissioners yet to be confirmed by National Assembly of the ATI, and also the Coalition for Access to Information. And in that meeting, we had strategies in terms of how to implement it. There was a roadmap discussed, very interesting roadmaps, to ensure that everybody's on board. My idea was that having a law and passing it is one thing. The journey now to implement it is another. We want everybody on board. At the planning stage, at the passing stage, everyone was on board. And my aim was to still maintain the coalition or the consortium to ensure that going forward, the commissioners will be there, obviously, but we'll be working with GPU, Media Council, Tango, all civil society to make sure that the ATI is implemented. The ATI is the president's priority. It's his legacy. Because remember, the campaign 2016, one of the priorities was information, access to information, media freedom. And now we have a dispensation that is very serious about access to information, free press, democratic principles and ideals. So don't worry about that. We are working on that. We are having meetings. There's a roadmap available, and we are working with GPU. We are working with Media Council and all stakeholders, together with the commissioners. There will be a commission for ATI. They are working on their modalities. They'll be confirmed by National Assembly, and they'll start work. They'll work with all the stakeholders to make sure that the ATI is implemented. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And remember, the creation of this ministry should be considered as part of the ATI implementation process. Honorable Mr. Jim.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and thank you, colleague Minister of Information, for organizing this very, very important interaction. Let me begin with something that my colleague said earlier in his introduction. The issue of capacity building is very, very, very important for all of us, but most importantly, journalists. Somebody said to me last week that prices are skyrocketing. Skyrocketing. And when you say that, you're suggesting that they are going up at an alarming rate. That's my understanding. And I'm sure you are smart enough to know that the prices of commodities, essential commodities in this country, for the past 2 months, according to my dashboard, have been flat. If anything, they have started going down. So skyrocketing is when they are going up, and what we are seeing, the indications are that prices are all stable. They have all been stable from the first week of Ramadan. I receive updates every week, and I got them yesterday. And what I can share with you is American rice, the retail price, and I say this all the time in press conferences. We cannot monitor what is happening in individual shops. We collect data and we share with you the average prices, the average retail prices, the average wholesale prices. We cannot give you prices per shops in Bundung. We don't have the capacity to do that. But on average, no, prices have not been skyrocketing of late. They are stable. I think we begin with that and clarify that. I know American rice has gained some 2.4% over the last 1 week from the 8th, that is from the 2nd to the 8th of March, and hopefully we'll be able to maintain it at that level for some time. During the press conference we organized at the ministry recently, which Kerfatu and others covered, we gave you a very detailed account of the factors that usually influence price rises. Even though we all know that the economy is not in our ministry, we are responsible for facilitation. We are not responsible for the factors that determine rises and drops in prices. But we go out of our way to ensure that we link our availabilities, the facilitation that the ministry is mandated to be responsible for, to the actual costs, to help people understand what is happening. That's why we always share with you what central bank published as the cost of foreign exchange, which is the currencies we use to buy these commodities. So like I said when I started, I don't believe prices have been skyrocketing. The information we are getting at the ministry on average in Kombo, in the Banjul area, in the Basse area, is that prices are stable. And for potatoes, onions that are currently being produced locally and are at the market as I speak to you, in addition to what has been imported recently, we can see that within 2 months, the price has dropped by 50%. But no one is reporting that. Onions have gone from 1,500 at the beginning of Ramadan to 700 today in the market. So that's positive. Potatoes is the same. But there is a fundamental reason why this sharp drop is being noticed in the market. And that is because the local produce has entered the market. Emphasis on, and this is why the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, in his recent interaction with the Ministry of Agriculture, emphasized the need for us to produce. We must produce to deal with this issue of price. That's the only weapon that we have, Honorable Minister, to control price. It is when we produce in this country what we consume that we'll be in a position to determine these prices. I say that because the external influences of price are beyond the control of any government. And that is why you go to the US today, you go to the UK, you go to Asia, everywhere in the world, probably apart from India, you notice that prices have risen from 2020 levels to 2023 levels. The reason being the constrictions, the controls, the bans on exports by countries to ensure their domestic markets are fed. India is the largest producer of rice in the world. If they believe that, there will be some other epidemic, God forbid. And they're making sure the rice produced in India is not being exported a whole 100%. and they are determining which countries are giving concessions like the Gambia, Senegal, and Mauritius, then in India, the cost of rice has gone down significantly because there is too much supply in the country. So solutions. Probably I'm preempting the next question, which was going to be, what is the ministry going to do? The ministry is limited in terms of what we can do. We cannot buy and sell. That is not what government does. Government leaves that with the private sector. So the private sector that buys and sells require foreign exchange to buy rice, because you cannot buy rice outside the country with dalasi. To buy the rice, you need foreign currency. The foreign exchange has exchange value against the dalasi that fluctuates. So all these things are very important to factor. But just to answer the question and restrict myself to what the guy said, even though I enjoy digressing and speaking a lot more, there is no skyrocketing of prices at the moment. Prices are stable, the curve is flat, has been flat for 4 weeks, according to our dashboard. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Team, so that they are guided on how to import. We guide them to place their orders, to work on their payments, to work on their letters of credit. This is how far the ministry goes with them. If money has been given by the government to people to facilitate access to finance for our community involved in commodity trade, because it's very expensive. And it is that which led the Ministry of Finance to engage with Badia, and Badia allowed us to access this 50 million. It's not, you said government of the Gambia gave what, 3.1 billion to Jar Oil. That is incorrect. No, listen, my brother, but you listen now. You asked the question. Allow me
to clarify, because you are trying to make things that I didn't say.
Oh, you didn't say?
How much is $50 million in Gambian dollars
I wouldn't know. You can do the mathematics yourself. Over $3 billion was given by the government of the Gambia.
So because what my question emanates from your answers as to try to remove your ministry from the whole process. You said your ministry recommended. So when you say you say that
hold on.
That was not right. The ministry was part and parcel of the processes of oil accessing money.
No,
also all those businesses before also accessing money.
No.
If we agree on that, I'm fine.
No, you will not agree because it is inaccurate. What you are saying is inaccurate, Tabora. You need to listen. I think you need to be patient for me to give you a context for you to get the answer that I'm giving you. Please. Let me go back to this. We recommended to the Ministry of Finance and they negotiated the 50 million. You started by saying the minister disowned the process and said we were responsible. That's what I'm trying to correct. We cannot negotiate that. Ministry of Finance did on our behalf and on behalf of the business community. So the money came with conditions. These conditions I went through the other time. 5 to 6 different conditions. This is not Gambia government money, it's Badia money. And Badia were giving the loan, they were dictating the tune. They told us who is eligible to get it. This was not a grant or loan to the government. It was a loan to the private sector. And it was a question of who qualifies gets it. It was not a grant or a loan to government. It was government facilitating access to it because government is a member of the Badia family. The money was allocated. It was Jar Oil that was qualified and competent among the applicants to get it. It was not meant to be distributed. That was not the idea. It was to be given to institutions that could repay in the first place. They must, first and foremost, agree to repay at an interest of 3%. The money was going to be repaid in dollars because the loan was in dollars. Whoever was going to be given must be ready to repay the money in 6 months. Must be ready to spend the money on commodities that are available in countries within the Badia family. Arab countries, African countries that are in Badia. So all these committees, all these businesses were invited. The importers, those who were interested in the money, those who were clamoring for it, were invited. In fact, that's the most important one. Thank you, Kutubo. Credible collateral must be placed on every lender. Every lender asks for collateral to secure their lending. Badia came with a condition that you must provide adequate collateral to guarantee that the 50 million was not going to be lost. All this community, the businesses that came, were told the same thing that Jar Oil was told. They went away. We're going to form consortia. We are going to form, joint ventures and all that. When they came the second time, they were still not ready. Some of them, in fact, majority of them said they were giving up. They could not meet the conditions. Jar Oil said he was interested. A week before the expiry of the offer, Ministry of Finance rekindled the handle and asked, what are you people doing? We called them again. Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Trade, the two PSs chaired all the 3 meetings. They sat with them, they said they couldn't do it. Jar Oil said they were ready to use the money. So my brother, we should move on and be realistic and accept the fact. Jar Oil was not favored above others. Jar Oil was the eligible institution that could utilize the money and repay the money based on the collateral. They were given access to the money to utilize. This was not money that Badia said distributed among business community. It was a loan that is supposed to be repaid, and all government of the Gambia, through our ministry and Ministry of Finance, did was to ensure there was access to it. Thank you.
Thank you. I say it's supposed to be an introductory session with a few formalities. My bad, I should have been strict and rigorous and take use of my power as chairman. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, and that's what the government, we don't run away from hot, sensitive information. We are always ready, and then, this is ongoing. You know, we cannot answer all the questions at once. It's ongoing. Like I said, I mean, we started this engagement before. It's going to continue, and all questions cannot be answered. We can take now only 2 because we've gone beyond the allocated time. For the sake of what do you call it? You know, the new, how do you call it, the new language, the gender, this thing, before they come on after us. So we know here for at least, you know, 1 question from male and at least 1 from the female. So I'm going to take only 2. The gentleman has been raising his hand. PS, yeah, on subvention for the PS.
I think it's a good question because we've been discussing with media chiefs on this issue of subvention. And even this morning I was discussing this thing with you, the possibility of creating a legal instrument that will put the ministry in a position to implement a scheme that will allow for government to subvent media houses. It's going to be good for the credibility of our democracy. It's going to put the Gambia in a very good light. And it's also going to build a strong relationship between the media and the government, and in particular the ministry that is serving as an intermediary. So it is something that is in our plans, but we are also in the process of coming up with a bill. Probably most of you will find in your newspapers that the Ministry of Information is hiring a consultant to develop information, media, and broadcasting bill. And the consultation process will bring together some media chiefs and active players in the media fraternity so that we discuss the way forward, because that bill is supposed to be the bedrock on which this ministry is going to unfold its future plans. And if we're going to do that successfully also, if government has that history of intervening or supporting the media through difficult times, we also want to make it a legitimacy on government to consider the possibility of giving a token amount as subvention to media houses so that they can stay as going concern or as profitable entities. It's part of the plans, but subject to further consultations, particularly consultation leading to the drafting of the Information, Media, and Broadcasting Bill 2024. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, yeah, like I said, as a government, we follow the due process. Anything we do, we like to base it on the law. So once the legal framework is in place, we'll see what is feasible. Now, we want to take 1 question from the lady. Lady from today, for the sake of gender parity. If not, ladies, you have no questions? No, give chance to others. No, give chance to others. No. Give chance to another. Another lady or another ex. If there's no lady, any other? So nobody will come after us that we not give the female chance. We're good, we are safe. So 1. No, all both you have to. We tell somebody who will not try. You have? If there are no questions. No, you've already asked, lady. You've already started. You've already on. Keep it brief, you know.
Well, thank you. I think that's a very good question. I'm still reviewing my handing over notes, trying to also review most of the legal frameworks. I know there's an embargo. We've been discussing this at the ministry level to understand why it was in the first place applied, and then what is the way forward. So once we make a decision, we'll come back to the general public, to the media, to tell you what is our decision on the issue of the embargo. But for now, it's under review. I'm new in the ministry. I'm trying to understand the ministry and the sector, but we'll get back to you with that information. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It has been an interesting introductory session. Honorable Minister of Environment, thank you very much, and Honorable Minister of Trade, you both handled the tough questions very well. My colleagues, Director of Information Service, PS, Principal Information Officer, we've come to the end of today's introductory session, but it's the beginning, it's not the end. The journey continues. We'll be invited again, and like I said, schools that are offering courses, School of Journalism, and my students here who are also working. So